The power of naivete or ignorance is something that you need to cherish. But what's more important is understanding where you're ignorant, where you're dumb. So everyone has an easier time understanding where they're smart. We like to say, oh, I can do this very, very well, or I'm good at that, or I'm good at these things, and therefore I should do this. We have a very hard time saying, boy, I'm terrible at this, or I only know half of what I should know about this. Those understandings are as important as those that are positive. The negative understandings are as important as the positive ones. So in that sense, when you're starting your own practice, know where you have to ask other people for help. Know where you should seek advice from. Always be inquisitive. That will help you balance your strengths with your weaknesses. I sometimes often would criticize the professional examination because theoretically you're supposed to know everything. I think a better way of creating an exam would be to test people's knowledge of how they can go out and find information, not how much they can memorize. Because your ability to seek out information, and especially today as the internet becomes more and more untrustworthy or more complex, we need to have very sensible ways to get honest and accurate information. So that is probably a priority. The second thing is, I would say, have a lot of friends. Have as many friends as you possibly can. Widen your spectrum of friends by 30 times. The more friends you have, the more connected you're to the world. And the more connected you are, the more projects, possibilities will become available to you, because architecture is not art. Art can be made in the confines of a studio without any friends. And in fact, some artists might say the less friends I have, the better my art is. With architecture, you kind of have to take a different approach. You have to be a part of society. And then I suppose the third thing I would say, if you want to make a lot of friends, you're going to have to know a lot about a lot of things that aren't architecture, because making friends and only talking about architecture is going to limit your pool of contacts. So learn about whatever things you enjoy outside of your architectural life, whether it's nature or science or literature or music, and make friends through those worlds as much as through your architectural world, because the last person that will probably ever give you a new project is another architect. Although I have a lot of architectural friends and we do past projects as much as we can to each other, but we're a small group that feels that way. So, widening the dimension of your life is a very important character of starting a new practice. And don't over focus, which is what we did with Alexandria. We just found one thing. It came in the door. It was spectacular. And all we did was that. And then it stopped and we looked around and said, now what are we going to do? We hadn't prepared for the eventuality of it finishing.